And
thank you for answering
still thrilled,
that.
I can see.
I can't see past those lights. So you've written several books. I'm actually reading the Starfleet Academy book you wrote, Collision Course.
Oh, good.
I'm curious, why did you want to write about Kirk? What led you to wanting to write a Starfleet Academy book?
Well, one day I'm minding my own business at Paramount Studios, and the producer of something or other comes up to me and says, you know, we're going to kill Kirk in the next Star Trek movie. What? You mean my career is at an end? He said, well, you know, the Next Generation is doing so well. We're going to make Next Generation movies, and the old cast is we're not going to do any more movies. So we're going to kill Kirk. Do you want to be in the movie? Just about what happened. I said, well, yes. So I called Leonard. I said, you know, they're killing Kirk. He said, I know. They asked me if I wanted to be in the movie, and I said no. I said, you said no. Why did you say no? He said, well, I don't want to be participating in that. And I said, well, I'm going to participate in it. So they wrote the script, and there's the whole story of the killing of Captain Kirk. The moment Captain Kirk died, the moment the scene was over, I rushed over to the producer, what's his name, and the guy who produced Next Generation.
Rick Berman, why don't you more?
Rick Berman.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. I can always rely on something. I rushed over to Rick Berman and said, Rick, I have a story outline that brings Captain Kirk back to life. Honest to God, that's the truth. And he said, well, I don't know, you know, I don't think so. So, they killed the character. Looking back, I might have done something else different. I might have followed Leonard, I don't know. In any case, they killed the character off so that the Next Generation movies would be would stand on its own, and there wouldn't be any history behind them. But I had this wonderful story of how Captain Kirk comes back to life and why Spock brings him back to life. And that was the beginning of a series of books that they let me write. They let me use the character in my way. And so I had a series of adventure stories that Captain Kirk did, that I wrote with another couple, and they were fun to write and to imagine what we would have done in movies if the original Star Trek were allowed to continue. One of the obvious problems was we were all getting older, and they wanted more, I guess. But I thought, what an interesting way to go, that every so often come up with a movie as the characters age, as the actors age. You age the characters that way, and you know, I've gotten old. I don't know when that happened. Somebody said they fell asleep, and then when they woke up, they were old. That's the way I feel. I don't know, what happened here? So as you get older, you have the ambitions and the impulse and the desires and the drive you had when you were young. It just doesn't work quite as well. I can't run quite as fast and all the itinerant things. But what an interesting, it seemed to me, story to tell as Captain Kirk, this great hero, feels, I've got a dog who's 10 years old, great, marvelous Doberman stud dog. And he's going to die soon because Dobermans don't live much longer than 9, 10 years old. And I look at I grab him by his ears and I say, what are you thinking? What are you doing tell me what you want. And, you know, and he looks at me and he's ready to tell me, but he can't speak. But he does speak in dog language and Doberman language. He bites me. But I see this dog that used to run and charge, and he's 100 pounds, and he was territorial. Now he knows that his strength is ebbing, and he's not quite like that. And it moves me terribly to see him begin to think, maybe I can't beat that dog, or I can't guard. Maybe I better be careful here. And that's what happens when you get older. I thought, what an interesting story that would have been as this hero who could take apart Gorns, be unable to do that as well and have to use wisdom and sagacity. You know, I thought those would be interesting stories, and that's the kind of thing I wrote about. He falls in love again with somebody younger, and it's not quite as... Anyway, that's the stories I wrote. That's why I wrote all those stories, because I thought they were interesting. Next question. I did another book. I'm working on that, about things. So, Ray Kurzweil, who hadn't gotten to the singularity at that point, but he's an advanced thinker, makes music, synthesizers and things like that, and voice recognition, especially voice recognition. I can't type, so I'm totally confused by computers. Even my phone gives me a problem. I'm all thumbs. So I went to Ray Kurzweil for this book. I was doing research on this book. Nice little guy. I think it was New York, New Jersey, something like that. Come up to his office upstairs, opens the door. His mother opens the door. Hello, Bill. It's nice to see you. Come on in. You want something to eat? No, she's a little Jewish mother. It's great. Open the door. Okay. There's Ray. Hello, Ray. Voice recognition. Yes, she says, all right. Speak into this microphone and educate the computer as to your voice. You have to teach the computer your vocal pattern. And I'll be back in a few minutes and just read this thing from Shakespeare or whatever it was. So for 20 minutes, I educate the computer as to my voice. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, once more into the breach, dear friends. That was Ray Kurzweil's mother. So finally, Ray Kurzweil comes back into the room, and he says, all right, voice recognition. This is the 4th edition of my voice recognition thing. We've improved it every year. It is now perfect. It's now ready to go out there and build. You're seeing it before it becomes commercially viable. Everybody will be able to speak to their computer and it will write it out. I said, Ray, this is an answer to my dreams. I don't type, but if I could speak and it types out for me, this is the answer to every problem I've ever had with a computer. He says, okay. Say something. Hello. Thing says, types out, hello, on the computer screen. Holy mackerel. I am here, Ray's beaming, with the inventor, Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil. Ray says, say delete. I say, delete. It writes out the word delete. He says, say delete, delete. I say, delete, delete. It writes out delete, delete. Ray Kurzweil is beginning to cry. And it went downhill from there. I don't know what's happened to the voice recognition stuff, but it's still hanging out. So the singularity, maybe more than 10 years. The last time I saw Ray Kurzweil, who is his family has a history, I think it's heart problems. It's some genetic problem in his family that he is desperately trying to avoid. And he takes something like 250 health pills in order to stay alive for the coming singularity, which is when machine and human beings combine. And he thinks that long life, if not eternal life, is going to happen. I have my doubts, but if he's right, it better come quickly for me, I'll tell you.